How do I know that someone is stool withholding? There's basically only one question that I have to ask. Has your child ever had a large bowel movement? Yeah. You're raising your hand, yes.
Yes.
Thank you for confirming that. If not, you can all go and I'll give you a refund. If your child has had a large bowel movement, what do I mean by large? Yeah, long is good, but thick and wide is better. The diameter is large, and you sit there and you say, where did that come from? We got an elephant in our house. That's how big the stools can be. And the more days prior to that large stool, during which Johnny hasn't pooped at all or not enough, he can poop 5 times a day. But if he only goes a little pebble 5 times, it's what he's leaving behind. It's not what he's putting out that we worry about. So parents will say, he goes to the bathroom every day. It's not what you put out, it's what you're leaving behind. And the best measure of that, by the way, is if Johnny is starting to get distended, his belly's getting big, swollen, he's a withholder, assuming that there's no other real medical problem. So you have distension. Now you can get distended with constipation too. But what we have here is we have large stools, whereas with constipation we said the stools are small. They're never large. Why? Because the withholder gets up, and when the urge comes to poop, that youngster's addicted to withholding. He doesn't get up in the morning and say, hey guys, I'm going to play the game today. You know, I'm going to withhold whenever I have to. But it's ingrained. Once it starts and it's there for more than a couple of weeks, that is not going away, no matter what your doctor tells you. Now the idea, don't worry about it, he won't be in diapers when he goes to college. That's what we call a sort of a condescending statement on the part of health professionals. And it drives parents crazy, because you're sitting at home, you're watching this, you're watching your kid withhold, crossing his legs, straightening his legs, holding your knees, straightening his legs, holding the table, squeezing his tush together, grunting, groaning. You always think they're pushing to go. They turn red, they turn purple, they fits all over the place. You think they're having a heart attack. They're trying not to go. You cannot have a bowel movement with your legs straight and your rear end squeezed together. And everybody's standing around, look at him, he's trying to go, he's trying to go. Grandma's screaming, you know, the whole family's there, it's like a holiday. He's not trying to go. He's trying not to go. It's a form of a temper tantrum. So what happens when he goes then, it can be little, that's the tip of the iceberg, because now he's withheld all this stool. Remember that stool comes down to the end of the intestine, the same size every time. But if you withhold and you're not going adequately, it builds up, it builds up. So now instead of having a stool that's this size, you have a grapefruit of stool. It's a massive stool, and that's sitting at the end of the large intestine. So when I do a rectal exam, what am I going to feel? I'm going to have a big vault. And when I put my finger in, rather than the 4 walls closing on my finger, like you see in a normal person or a constipated person, now I'm fishing. Where are the walls of the bowel? And it can be quite dilated, quite stretched out. That's due to stool withholding. That differentiates, along with the history of having large stools, that exam will differentiate between a constipated person and a stool withholder. And it doesn't matter at the time of the exam, there may not be a big massive stool in there. Why? Because maybe that morning he had this humongous stool. So there's no stool in there, but the vault is still huge. Make sense? So that's withholding versus constipation. Constipation may have been there initially, and the pain and the discomfort resulted in a child withholding. And withholding is a behavior. At that point in time, it doesn't matter what the cause of it, that's a behavior.